At number 18, my first hoaxing hero. And to meet him, I travelled to New York, which back in the 1950s was home to famous abstract artists like Jackson Pollock and Franz Klein, and also to a rather less-known painter by the name of Nat Tate.
It's a Nat Tate.
I see that Nat Tate has signed it.
Yeah?
That name is not familiar to me.
Not familiar? I'm from London.
Oh, lovely. She's walking.
She's walking away. She hates London. Oh, fair enough. Do you like it?
No.
No. You won't find that in there. You'll only find it right here. What if I told you this was worth in the region of $250,000?
I tell you, society is
Right, fair enough. We may have to bleep that. It's an original. It's a Nat Tate original.
Nat Tate?
Nat Tate. Shall I tell you something a little bit more about Nat Tate? Right, well, watch this little film here. What? No, it's cool, because then, in the show,
all right.
I do that, and then we'll play the film. And it's like, you see? Clever. Thinking on my feet.
It's not surprising Nat Tate's been forgotten. But things were different in 1998. On the trendy Upper East Side, the great and the good of the Big Apple's art scene gathered for a special book launch. People were especially excited when David Bowie sat down to read an extract.
It was late afternoon, I was hot, I was tired, and I wandered past dozens of unremarkable drawings and sketches. I what? Sorry.
It was no wonder Bowie was nervous. This was an important book. It was the first ever biography of one of New York's unsung art heroes, tortured genius Nat Tate. As Bowie read from the book by William Boyd, everyone nodded and murmured appreciatively. They all agreed that Nat Tate was the bestest artist ever and swapped anecdotes about what his work meant to them. The only trouble was, Nat Tate was rubbish. Not a rubbish artist, just a load of rubbish. He didn't exist. He'd never existed, except in the mind of one of my all-time favourite hoaxers.
William Boyd, it is a pleasure to meet you. Officially, one of the world's greatest hoaxers.
So it would seem.
Yeah, I say officially. It's my list, to be honest, but that's official enough for me. You're the man behind Nat Tate.
Yep, that's right.
How did that happen?
Well, there was quite a serious literary point. I wanted to create something that was totally made up, but had all the apparatus of a real life. So I wrote and created a beautiful little book celebrating the short, tragic life of Nat Tate, and off we went.
The book captured the imagination of the sensation-seeking New York art scene because it was flawless. Boyd had made Nat Tate's life utterly believable. First, the book was packed with photos of Nat Tate and his family. Photos that William Boyd had simply lifted out of a photo album which he randomly bought in Belgium. Plus, in the book's narrative, Boyd placed Tate at the centre of something very real, the hard-living 1950s New York art scene. And then, the masterstroke. Boyd roped in some famous friends to vouch for Nat Tate.
What I did was I got two friends of mine to reminisce about Nat. One of them was Gore Vidal, the American novelist, and another one was a man called John Richardson, who is the biographer of Picasso. So you're reading the book and you think, well, maybe Boyd is telling the truth, because surely John Richardson wouldn't lie. And then Gore Vidal, a few pages further on, says, yes, I remember Nat. He had a brief affair with Peggy Guggenheim, you know, the famous collector. Nice boy, not very bright, drank too much. And again, that just adds to the whole verisimilitude.
First of all, I'm gonna look that word up, and then I'll use it.
What really sealed the hoax was Boyd's ability to call on old friend David Bowie to help. Apart from reading an extract at the New York launch, Bowie proudly declared that he was lucky enough to be one of the only people in the world to own an actual Nat Tate painting. And there are only a handful of Nat Tate paintings left. Because Boyd and Bowie made sure everyone knew that Tate had destroyed nearly everything he'd ever done, as we are demonstrating here in this dramatic and touching reconstruction. It's half the budget there. And just 2 days after burning all his work, the world would be robbed of Nat Tate's talent forever.
Now we move to the darker side of Nat's life. How did he come to this?
Well, apparently...
If you can talk about it.
I can. I get a bit choked up.
We can take a break.
No, it's
we get some water for William.
I'm all right.
You're all right.
Yeah. Nat Tate jumped off the Staten Island ferry. Symbolic because in his work there's a lot of references to bridges. He's heading back to where he was born, New Jersey, and halfway over he jumped off the back railing of the Staten Island ferry.
Boyd effectively pushed Tate into the Houston River, killing him off forever. But the hoax was just coming to life. The Sunday Telegraph serialised the biography, and Boyd hit the media circuit to talk about Tate's legacy. But someone who'd been at the book launch had smelled a rat. They were on to William Boyd.
I have to admit, this whole thing started with a bit of eavesdropping. I was sitting in a hotel bar and I overheard two of the people who were in the know, I think one of them was a legal advisor, saying something like, we've really got to hope that nobody finds out about this. And that was all. So I didn't quite know what they were talking about. And then the day after that, I began to do some investigation. I went to the gallery, the Alice Singer Gallery on 57th Street, where William Boyd said he'd first spotted Nat Tate's work. And 57th Street was indeed there, but the Alice Singer Gallery wasn't, and nor were any of the other galleries in the book. So by then, I began to think, I've got a story here.
Just days after the launch of the Nat Tate biography, David Lister's slightly annoying scoop hit the front page, and the Nat Tate hoax was no more. But it was still such a convincing and well-executed hoax that I decided to ask William Boyd for a top hoaxing tip.
It's unbelievable what you can do with a caption.
A caption?
Yeah, a caption to a photograph. You put Nat Tate in London 1955, this anonymous man suddenly is in a place and a time and is named. And if the book looks good, which it does, you buy it completely.
OK, so that's interesting. So captions and anything that looks like it was published or looks like it a third person. I have to say as well, while I stand here, I mean, I don't usually do this with my hands, but I've been doing it most of the way, and I've noticed you have as well. This is like an art gallery thing.
Yeah.
I feel very intellectual right now. We've both been walking along going, yeah, no, I agree. That's very good
Fingertips
point.
touching.
Exactly.
But there's still the matter of where the artwork came from. Critics had loved the fictional artist's work. So who did it?
You see, it was William Boyd all along.
There you go.
That's for me.
Yeah.
That's the latest Nat Tate.
Yeah.
And when does this date from?
Late 50s.
Late 50s, amazing. Thank you very much.